Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'll call this meeting to order. If you have a cell phone, please turn it off. We'll have a moment of silence to observe, please. Thank you. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Barnes.
Here.
Reed. Here. Brown.
Here.
Decker. Here. Kraus. Here. French.
Here.
Domingo.
Here.
Quorum.
Mayor and council members' comments. Are there any comments from the council this evening? Yes.
I'd just like to thank the city employees and the city manager for providing the donations for the water for Flint. I dropped the water off in Jackson at our van today, and they will be shipping 19 cases of water. I just want to thank the city manager for allowing us to do the job. Thank you.
Anyone else? See, none. Okay. Don't forget to turn your clocks back this coming weekend, or turn them ahead.
Turn them ahead.
Now turn them on. Just turn them. So.
Get up when you feel like it.
Yeah. Grab an extra hour. We're going to start off with presentations with Linda Freibler. How bad did I blow that? Calhoun County Convention Visitors Bureau with a $20,000 check presentation to the Holland Park Transformation Project.
I just wanted to say a few words. I do want to thank Amy Robertson, who is also on the Visitor Bureau Board and is here today, for getting me in contact with Len, who came to my office and shared the exciting news about the Holland Transformation Project. And we were, as a board, the Visitor Bureau Board was very excited about that project and the revitalization going there, and particularly the History Hill and preserving that history, which is very important as visitors come to our area to really understand that history. And I think this is one project in what I understand, many projects going on in Albion right now to really revitalize and transform the city. And I would like to thank you all for all your great work here. It's really great to be part of at least the county and see these types of things going on here. So on behalf of the CVB board, I have the pleasure of presenting a $20,000 check to you today. Yes, I'm hoping you get a picture. To help with whatever renovations and transformation we're doing.
Amy, come on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if I can say, I went over that morning and she was so nice as to sit and talk to me. We must have talked for about 45 minutes, and then the next, whatever her meeting was, it snowed them out. But then Amy got in touch with me and said, she called me, so I'm very happy. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'll trade you that one for that one. Thanks again. Cindy Stancheks with an update on the Albion District Library.
That's my cue. Thank you, everybody, for having me back again to give another update. So, as always, there is a ridiculous number of things happening at the library. So, I'm going to start
looking a little bit backwards, and then we're going to look forwards. We have, are about to do, our fiscal year, we run calendars fiscal just like the city does, and so our audit is coming in April, but we're working on our 2015 annual report, looking back at statistics, and I have a few interesting ones to run past you. In 2015, we checked out over 66,800 unique items to the 64,583 visitors that came through our front door. Let me break that down for you. On the average day, we were seeing one person every 2 to 3 minutes through our front door for every single hour that we were open. So the library is definitely still seeing heavy use from our community, but there are a lot of people in our community who either do not use the library or in some very sad circumstances don't seem to realize we have a library. So that is something that is ever present in our mind, to reach out to everyone in our community and remind them that not only do they have a library, but it is their library, and that is why we are there, is to serve them. We offered over 640 programs last year, which saw an attendance of over 8,400 people. And I think that those are the big ones in my mind. We also had, you know, our standard reference questions. Basically anything beyond where is the restroom, we count as a reference question. And those pick up, especially in months like this month. Given that tomorrow is election day, we get a lot of people calling and visiting the library wanting to know more about what is on the ballot, where their polling locations are, and that is one of the primary functions of the library, is to help encourage an educated electorate. We want people to know, we want people to vote, and we want people to be making an educated decision with all of the best information that we can provide to them about what their options are, so that they can make it their best decision in the polling booth. So we have, we're finishing up 2015, we're moving forward. Actually, you will very shortly see it. We were also presented a very large check earlier today. The library is partnering with the Albion Homer United Way for the Albion Family Literacy Project. So it is approximately a $30,000 grant that came in for this year. And it will be a year-long series of programs aimed at young children and their families, because it is true by science that if you do not have children reaching, you know, early elementary with a proper reading level, they struggle for the rest of their educational career. So while it is aimed primarily at the children of ALICE families, which are asset-limited, income-constrained, employed, which are essentially our working poor, this is a project that will be offered, programs that will be offered to all of Albion's children and their parents. We're in the process of hiring right now. We're about to start interviewing for our family literacy assistant or specialist, depending on their qualifications. And then in the summer, we're going to be taking on some paid teen interns that we're pretty excited about. It's going to be quite an adventure, because next month, we also launch our Geek the Library program. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Geek the Library, or the use of geek as a verb, it is a primary question. What do you geek? What are you excited about? What are you passionate about? What do you know a lot about? And we ask you, what do you geek? I geek chihuahuas. I geek crocheting. I geek belly dance. Everybody has something that you geek, and we're going to be making posters, we're going to be doing buttons, we're going to be doing signs, we're going to be doing programs out in the community, and we're going to be doing this for about 6 months. This is a public advocacy campaign, a public awareness campaign, created by OCLC and funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The larger program as a whole sunset earlier this year, but we got in just under the wire. So we are able to have a number of supplies that are provided to us, and we've received a grant from our friends to be able to fund this project. We're very excited. But while we're geeking, we're also going to be doing summer reading, which kicks off in June, and no, that is not that far away. So we are really looking forward to that, and there's one more exciting thing I learned just this week. For those of you who are familiar with the Dolly Parton Imagination Library program, Dolly Parton Imagination Library is a program that provides free, age-appropriate books every month, mailed to the child's home with their name on it. And if anybody has small children in your family, children or grandchildren, you know how exciting it is to get mail with their name on it. The book comes with their name on it, and they get one every month until they turn 5 or they move out of the area. And right now, we have over 320 children involved in that program from the Albion area. So those are a lot of kids who are getting books in their home so that they can start that love of learning and love of reading that much earlier. Are there any questions for me? No?
So you are geeked about geeking the library?
I am so geeked about Geek the Library. I cannot even tell you. There are pins that say "Get your geek on," and I am so ready to get my geek on, because there's this prevailing image of the library, this mental image of the library as a book depository, that this is where the books live, but it is so much more than books. So much more than books.
So can I ask, of the 66,000 or so items checked out, how many of them were actually books?
You know, I could run that number for you. I would have to run a list to do that. I would say when you're
Ballpark,
looking at
third?
total number of books, I would say 55 to 60%, and that's just my experience passing over the desk.
Okay.
Of those are books in the adult area.
Right.
There are far more books in the children's room
Right,
leaving.
right.
But our DVD collection is very strong as well, and frankly, there's a lot of people in our community who have turned off cable internet and television at home to conserve money. And if this is how we can help them, and if this is how we can get them into the library,
Yeah.
then there is nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
I agree.
Yes.
I just had a question about the Dolly Parton Imagination Library.
Mm-hmm.
If you have more than one child, are each of the children registered, or is it as a family?
No, each child receives their own book at their own level. And now I cannot confirm this, but it has been my experience in talking to a few parents of multiple children, and that I mean twins, triplets. Beyond the first book and the last book, there does seem to be an effort to make sure that the kids get different books so it's not everybody getting the same book at the same time.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, no problem. Anyone else?
Yeah, because I had twins when I was teaching that had over books.
Yeah, and especially identical twins and triplets are, sometimes they really geek the whole identical, same clothes things, and sometimes they are just done with it at a very early age, and it's exciting to get something different than what their identical twin or triplet is getting. Okay, anyone else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have a proclamation for Meals on Wheels to Kitty Knoll, Senior Services, and Dan Pontuas.
Pontius.
Cool.
Pontius, like the pilot.
Okay, Pontuas.
Obviously don't read the Bible.
Nutrition and Transportation Program Manager. City of Albion, proclamation for March for Meals Month, March 2016. Whereas on March 22nd, 1972, President Richard Nixon signed into law a measure amounting the Older Americans Act of 1965 and established a national nutritious program for seniors 60 years and older. And whereas the 2016 observance of March for Meals provides an opportunity to support Meals on Wheels program that deliver vital and critical services by donating, volunteering, and raising awareness about senior hunger and isolation. And whereas Meals on Wheels programs have served our community for many years, and whereas Volunteers for Meals on Wheels programs are the backbone of the program, and they not only deliver nutritious meals to seniors and individuals with disabilities who are a significant risk of hunger and isolation, but also caring and concern and attention to their welfare. And whereas we express our appreciation to the individuals and organizations that support our Meals on Wheels program, including Area Agency on Aging 3B, Calhoun County Senior millage in senior services of Southern Michigan. Whereas, Meals on Wheels program provides a powerful socialization opportunity for millions of seniors to help combat loneliness and isolation. And now therefore, I, Joe Domingo, Mayor of the City of Albion, do hereby proclaim March 2016 as March for Meals Month and urge every citizen to take this month to honor our Meals on Wheels programs, the seniors that serve, and the volunteers who care for them. Thank you. Speak up and tell them.
Yeah, I just want to thank the Albion community on behalf of Senior Services Southwest Michigan, our volunteers, our staff, and our senior population. You know, this is a really crucial time for us to raise awareness for Meals on Wheels. You know, consistently from year to year, you know, we've had flat funding with the program, but we're seeing a greater demand for these meals. As the baby boomer population is aging, that older adult population is growing more and more. You know, I tell you now, we sit on a waiting list here in Calhoun County of 150 seniors who are waiting for this program. This isn't unique for our community either. We service Kalamazoo County as well, and we're sitting in a similar situation. And you would see that throughout the nation as well, within those communities. It's just a growing need for this program and flat funding. So, you know, I tell you, this is an opportunity this month, March for Meals, is for us to get the community together, to raise awareness, and to invite everybody to get involved. You know, if you're interested in getting involved with senior services, you know, you can just use your position, you know, within the city and use your network to advocate for senior services and for Meals on Wheels as a whole. You know, we service the whole county here.
We have one volunteer route here, but we're hoping to expand that to 2.
Yep. There's another opportunity. If you're interested in volunteering, if you know anybody interested in volunteering, we do have volunteer routes that operate out of the Fork Senior Center here. We have a great partnership with them and provide some other programming there as well. And last, you know, but not least, you know, if you're interested in donating or know somebody that's interested in donating, this is a great program to give back to. That all of those dollars, those donation dollars, are going directly to meals. So, you know, you're servicing a fundamental need of seniors within our community. We even have an opportunity if you want to donate and purchase a meal for a week, a month, or multiple weeks in someone's honor as well. So we just ask that you guys share that and help us to advocate for this vital program in our community.
Thanks, Dan.
And we appreciate your support. You've been wonderful. We really appreciate that.
The Albion community as a whole has been wonderful. From Albion College to local businesses, Fork Senior Center, Rotary, you know, absolutely. So, you know, yeah.
So how much would a donation for a week or a month be?
Yeah. A week would be $30. So, you know, just $30, which many of us take for granted, would feed a senior for a week. That provide them one nutritious meal a day for an entire week. So, you know, it's about $6 a meal for us to service with transportation and all of that involved, so.
Yeah. And we have a 90% scratch cooking, it really is. You know,
Absolutely.
If you come down, I invite you to come down to the kitchen in Battle Creek, I'll take you on a personal tour.
Absolutely.
You can even try the food. Which most of you have already tried if you were at Eggs and Issues about a month ago or so. Egg strata.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all for your time. We greatly appreciate it.
You mean I can get one of those because I'm a senior?
You sure can.
Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Citizens' comments. Persons addressing the council shall limit their comments to agenda items and no more than 5 minutes. Proper decorum is required. Are there any comments on the agenda tonight? Cool. Consent calendar. Approval of regular session minutes for February 16, 2016.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Are there any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Passes. Items for individual discussion. Request approval for Lions White Cane event.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Are there any questions? Voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. It passes. B, request approval of city manager's goals.
So moved.
Moved and supported, and that's just an update. She passed out her goals that are actually in the package. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. If there's no questions, roll call vote, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Decker,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Domingo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. You're on again here in a minute. Okay. C, request approval for vehicle for hire annual business licenses for Maxi Transportation.
So moved. Support.
Moved and supported. Are there any questions? Roll, yes, Andy.
They've been practicing already. This is a renewal, or is this a first-time application?
No, they were 6 months, was their first one.
That's
Now,
right.
this
Okay.
one will be for a year, am I
For a
correct?
year?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Is there any questions on it, Colin? No. We're all set? Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Kraus,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
Reed, Brown,
Yes.
Domingo,
Yes.
Decker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Request approval for annual garbage licenses for Turner, Republic, Waste Management, and Granger.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Are there any questions? You notice we are down to 4 instead of 5 because one of the 4 bought out the 5th one. So I'm not sure which one it was.
Granger bought. Or it might have been.
So, yes, Cheryl?
What will happen if we should go to single hauler?
There'll just be one license approved for that hauler.
But these will stay in, are these then in force for the whole year?
This license is for the whole year.
For the whole
For
year.
these people here.
Okay.
Yes.
So in other
Yep,
words.
yes.
Okay, that's what I
No,
need to.
we would start, I think, if we went into that process, we would start evenly with everybody so that everybody's licenses would expire at the same time.
Make sure.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Roll call vote, please.
Barnes,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Decker,
Yes.
Domingo,
Yes,
Kraus,
Yes.
French.
Yes.
Motion passes.
thank you. Request approval of annual mechanical amusement devices for Albion College, Cascarelli's Leisure Hour, Pizza Hut, Red Box Automotive, Spartan Stores, which is Family Affair, R&R, and the Albion Moose.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Are there any questions on the 8?
Yes.
Yes.
Question. I'd like to ask the city attorney, if I was to have a problem with a couple of them receiving their license, what are the requirement for them to maintain the license if I wanted to rebuke 2 of them?
What are the requirements for maintaining the license?
Yeah.
Well,
These are just for mechanical.
these are just.
Yeah, I know, that, we're allowing them to have them in their premises, so there has to be a law governing why they can have them in there. But we can talk later.
I'm happy to look into that for, I mean, I can, if you give me a minute, I'll pull up our
Okay.
ordinance on it.
All right.
We have an ordinance on amusement. We have no sense of humor at all.
No more questions. Roll call vote, please.
Brown,
Is he still looking at? We're still looking?
No, I've got it. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I didn't know
so-
he was looking that up.
At least our current ordinance, and I'm just paraphrasing this as a skim it for the council, is that obviously they're required to be licensed. They cannot operate any mechanical device without a license, whether it's a public or private club. be at least 18 years of age and of good moral character. The term good moral character shall be construed to mean the propensity of the person to serve the public in the licensed area in a fair, honest, and open manner. If they have any judgment of guilt in a criminal prosecution, shall not be proof of lack of good moral character. That's interesting. Criminal records shall not be examined by the city for good moral character if it's an arrest not followed by a conviction that has been reversed, or a conviction unrelated to their likelihood to serve the public in a fair, honest, and open manner. And that's basically it. The rest of it's just terms, fees, transferring. City council can revoke any license issued pursuant to this article for material misrepresentations, serving liquor on the premises without a license, gambling, use the premises used for any illegal purpose, or if they're no longer of good moral character. That is for licenses in general. Mechanical amusement devices, basically the same kind of thing. So, I mean, is there something specific?
Yes, you touched on it. A couple of these businesses I feel lack good moral character in some of the derogatory statements that were made to some customers and some employees. They approached me with some of the situations they had, but I'm not choosing to move forward with it at this time today. I'm going to move forward and vote that they have it, but I have made it public knowledge that some of these complaints came to me, and until I can do a further review with these complaints, I'm not going to bring it forward. Thank you.
Okay. No more, roll call vote?
Kraus,
Yes.
Domingo,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Barnes.
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Decker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. City manager report?
Well, Mayor and Council, in case you didn't notice, I'm playing the clerk for the day. Jill Domingo is in preparation for the long day tomorrow for the election, and I want to remind everyone that tomorrow is the presidential primary, and especially for those who have absentee ballots, they must be returned by no later than 8 p.m. if they are to be counted. And just to give you a brief update on some other things, there's lots of wonderful things going on in town. The Superior Street reconstruction, we're having a public open house to just have a preview of what it's going to look like and what's being proposed by MDOT. And that's going to be on Monday, March 21st from 4:30 to 6:30 at the library, and that's just prior to your council meeting. Also, the redevelopment ready community is ready to have their kickoff for community stakeholders. That's going to be on March 28th. The tentative time is 7 p.m. The location has not yet been determined. It's a good chance we'll be asking the library again. The DDA, they have a meeting coming up, and one of the things they are working on is overall the downtown development plan. But in particular, I wanted them to look at the downtown study, because one of the things we're facing right now is in the foreseeable future is a parking crunch. As that was the appropriate body to at least start taking a look at what could be recommended. There was a study recently, relatively recently, in 2006, so that will be the framework for starting that conversation with them and looking at what's available, what should be proposing, as well as are there some ordinances or other approaches in terms of zoning that we could be considering that will make it more amenable to having public parking spaces available. And I'm very proud of our Chief, Scott Kipp. He recently offered an active shooter training at Albion College, and I was able to see one of those days presentation, and he's going to make that available to our employees, as well as the library, I think, has an on-site scheduled, and they're making that available to other entities in the community if you're interested for active shooter and intruder training. So we have a mandatory training for all of our employees, and it's for a few hours, and in a nutshell, you should run, hide, or whop them in the head if you have to. But it was a very informative way of approaching and making sure that people have the information on what they should do and how they should handle these situations, because unfortunately that's the reality of our world today, and we want our employees to be as prepared as possible for any unforeseen situation that might occur. We have their upcoming retirement party for Steve Williamson, who works in DPW at the cemetery. And that's going to be on Tuesday, March 15th at noon at the Street Department Garage, and everyone's invited to attend and wish them well if your schedules permit. The Albion prayer breakfast, I guess this is the second annual one, will be on Saturday, March 19th, 9:30 a.m. at Albion College in Upper Baldwin. They have asked if council would be willing to purchase a table, so you can let me know if you're interested in attending that event. And immediately following, if not even at the conclusion, but that same date, the Boy Scouts Troop Number 100 celebration is going to be Saturday at 10:30 at Bone Theater, followed by a breakfast at the First United Methodist Church. And in closing, the Taco Bell has started their site preparation for the new Taco Bell, so we'll be bringing it to the border soon. And the Recreation Department is off to a fantastic start at the school. They're offering the physical education programs on Fridays for the K through 5. I stopped in last Friday and it was fun. I just miss having the chance to have the hula hoop contest, so maybe next Friday. But the kids are really having a wonderful time with them. And some of the other programs they're offering are the Easter egg hunt on March 26th, April 1st, the Daddy-Daughter Dance, which is a big event, and they're starting adult exercise on Wednesdays and Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. So I'm looking forward to participating in that one. I'm expecting a full house because that's a really a fun way to exercise. And we just received word that Recreation received a grant from the Battle Creek Community Foundation to help them kickstart a walking program for the kids in the K through 5 at the school. Great. So lots of great things going on.
Thank you. Future agenda items? Yes?
I'd like to ask that we discuss the abatements on Austin Avenue and the 600 block between Albion Street and Chauncey Street. The abatements, I've been asking that business owners clean up the property around.
Anything else? Don't see any. We don't have, H is okay now? Citizens' comment.
I just thought of something, I apologize. The hauler, should we set a date for that? For a work session on that? Or should we just send something out and see what time people would be able to talk about that? That's something we had talked about in the goal setting.
We can do a Google poll and try to get a date that seems to work with everyone.
Okay. Citizens' comments. Persons addressing the city council shall limit their comments to no more than 5 minutes. Proper decorum is required. Are there any citizens' comments this evening? If there is, come forward with your name and your address. No citizens' comments. Well, guess what we go to then?
So moved.
Support.
Do I have a motion to adjourn? We have a motion and it all, what the hell? Lost my train of thought. Voice vote, yeah, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. Have a good evening.